The New York Mets have made multiple moves with free agency officially underway. The Mets have started off by adding multiple players to their roster for the 2026 MLB season. Meanwhile, they are losing a player within their organization as well, and we are going to go over all of this to start off free agency, guys. We're going to waste no time jumping right into it. Make sure to subscribe, but real quick, guys, if you've ever wanted to break into the sports media world, if you want to talk about sports, whether it's on camera, on YouTube, or be a writer about sports, Digest Media has the perfect opportunity for you. Now, as we all know, talk about sports is one of the most fun things to do in the world, and I'm lucky enough that this has become a job for me, talking about multiple different teams surrounding the New York area with Digest Media. And if you want to join, we have openings in New York for teams like the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Giants. If you want to talk about either of those teams, whether it's writing articles or making videos, now you have the opportunity to do so. You could write articles about really any of the New York teams right now we are hiring for, and we are hiring on camera for the Giants and for the Brooklyn Nets. So make sure to apply using the link seen on the screen right here, digestmedia.ca/join us to apply. Or you could click the link in the description down below to apply. But let's jump into the Mets news. There is a lot to go over today on the New York Mets, as they've made multiple moves to start out free agency. As free agency is officially underway with the Mets, and there has been a whole lot of discussion surrounding what exactly the plans are for this team going forwards. I mean, obviously, as we know, David Stearns just does have a history of scraping the bottom of the barrel at points. And, well, when that happens, obviously fans get upset, and also there's bigger moves out there that they've made as well, specifically Soto. Obviously, we know that Tarek Skubal is going to be a trade target for them, and they will be looking at Kyle Tucker as well in free agency alongside Cody Bellinger. But the Mets have started off the way that they have started off in previous years as well, as Anthony DeComo revealed that the Mets have claimed infield/outfielder Ji Hwan Bae off of waivers from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bae, who's 26 years old, was designated for assignment earlier this week after appearing in just 13 games for the Pittsburgh Pirates last season, which is the first move that they did go out there and ultimately make. Ji Hwan Bae had a negative .4 WAR this season and has a career of a negative .8 WAR in his 461 at-bats. He had one hit this season, which is a .050 batting average, so not good at all. Getting a hit 5% of the time, that means. For his career, he's got a .223 batting average. He could steal bases. He's a good athlete, can field the ball quite well, could play really any fielding position. The problem is he can't hit a ball at all. It's a .290 OPS and a -12 OPS plus. Now, the averages are .750 for the OPS, and OPS plus, the average is 100. So, obviously, this is not what you want to see whatsoever out of who you're signing for the Mets right here. Ji Hwan Bae will be depth for multiple different positions. Obviously, the Mets do have to decide what exactly their plans for second and third base are going into this season. Obviously, Brett Beatty is expected at third base, but we can see some changes happen as well depending on the free agency signings. Now, G did play in the minors this season and actually did hit the ball quite well. They're getting a .292 batting average and an .800 OPS. He did show the potential to get hits. Now, he's not going to hit for power at all. He's just not a power hitter. Has a total of 2 home runs in his MLB career and just 25 in the minors in over 1,700 at-bats. So he's not here to hit home runs, but he can, theoretically, the thought is if he can get on base, which he did decently, or did quite well with a .380 on-base percentage in the minors, he can add something to the back end of a batting order while also being a utility fielder and base runner. That's more the point of adding Bae here, is because he can be that utility fielder / base runner type guy. That obviously would help the New York Mets, as they could totally use one of those guys as well. But there's also more news on top of that. As I said, there is a lot to go over on the Mets, because on top of that, they claimed left-hand pitcher Jose Castillo off waivers. Now, Castillo did play for the Mets at a point this season. Now, Mets fans are not thrilled with these moves. Seeing right here with Bae, at least, that, well, you could read those. Obviously, the other one is showing David Stearns shopping at the dollar store here in regards to the guys they're adding. Castillo did have a solid year, though, overall. If we're being honest, for a relief pitcher, he pitched quite well, and this is a move that I'm definitely happy about because it just adds more left-handed pitching depth onto this team. I mean, a 3.94 ERA is not bad at all, 30 strikeouts in 32 innings, so he's a ground ball pitcher. His issue is that he lets guys on base too much. 1.68 guys get on base per inning, nearly 1.7 guys on base per inning, meaning almost certainly he will be putting someone in scoring position. That is effectively what WHIP means, because it's walks, hits, and innings pitched, so it's how many guys you're allowing on base per inning. It's just the It's effectively on base percentage for pitchers, in case you were wondering, because I know some people don't know the rules. And if you're like Chris, I know I'm explaining it to people who might not understand the rules because I don't want them to have to feel off, and I'm not going to judge them for not knowing what whip means. I mean, I didn't know what whip meant a few years ago as well when I first started locking in on baseball more, so it makes sense. But look, not the point. The point is Jose Castillo is a guy who the Mets did have on the team earlier this season to say, and he pitched well at a 2.35 ERA with the Mets. I mean, didn't appear that much, only in 16 games, but it was the bulk of his games in the MLB last season. Obviously pitched for 4 different teams, whether it was the Diamondbacks, the Mets, the Mariners, or the Orioles. Bounced around and pitched quite well everywhere that wasn't the Diamondbacks, including quite well with the Mets. So I like this move. I think it actually does help the Mets. It gives them another lefty reliever, which is always nice to have, especially just considering the Mets bullpen definitely does need some beefing up. Is this the blockbuster move that's going to save the Mets bullpen? No, not at all, but it is a move that's going to help the Mets bullpen, and I have absolutely zero problem with this move whatsoever. In fact, I quite like this move. So overall, good move by the Mets, and there also is another update regarding the Mets as well, as Nick Madrigal has elected free agency. He was within the Mets organization this year, but did not end up playing a game for the Mets. Madrigal, sorry. I know people hate when I mispronounce names. Madrigal has a 2.274 batting average for his career. He has shown solid contact throughout his MLB career, has an OPS of 667, so the OPS plus do show that he is a below average offensive player, can bounce around, can play second base, can play third base, ultimately will be opting for free agency and not returning to the New York Mets. He never ended up suiting up for the Mets, but throughout his minor league career, he has been a very, very talented player and also spent some time with the Chicago Cubs as well. So Madrigal is someone who, frankly, is just going to be someone to look at for this Mets team. But right now, I understand that fans definitely are upset with these moves to start free agency. I don't love the Bae move at all. I don't see a point of it. I think there's a million better utility players out there. But I do like the Castillo move. There's nothing wrong with going out there and adding more pitching onto the team. You can never have enough lefty pitching. So getting Castillo back off waivers is a cool thing to do. I imagine he will be added to the 40-man roster at some point. If I'm being honest, I really don't expect Bae to ever be added to the 40-man roster, and if he is, I don't really expect him to play with the Mets whatsoever. I wouldn't be shocked if the Mets do go out there and find a better sort of utility guy out there. Again, there is a lot of good utility guys out there. The Mets can certainly find one in free agency who actually has shown some semblance of hitting a ball in the major leagues. So I imagine that's what the Mets will do. Again, they're trying to win a World Series. I understand these moves by David Stearns can definitely be annoying, though, and I'm definitely not thrilled. I want to see the Mets go make some actual moves. But it's the first day of free or the second day of free agency, and when stuff like that happens, I mean, I'm recording this at 4 p.m. This is coming out, or actually 4 p.m. Newfoundland time, because I'm up in Newfoundland right now. But so if you're in New York, it's a little past 2:30 right now, and I mean, free agency hasn't even been going on for a full 24 hours. We're not going to see some big type of move. We will be discussing a bunch of other stuff happening, though, every single day. So you want to make sure to be subscribed to this channel and have those post notifications on. Like this video. Have a great day. I'll catch you later.